Good evening. My name is Keisha Henderson, and tonight I'll be going over my presentation for our case study. So, the corporation that I chose was Kraft Heinz, and I chose them just randomly. I was looking up different corporations for that had some financial issues or strife going on recently in the last couple years or so. So I just randomly chose them. It jumped out at me mainly because I had used so many of their products. But like I said, I chose Kraft Heinz, so I get right into it. So the first thing was identifying the problem. So the problem is that they are having some difficulties financially over the last few years because their market and shares for their consumer-based products were dropping. And in February of last year, they had experienced record lows for the company. Like there was the first time that they had seen their stocks and their revenues drop that low. So the company is also was also being investigated due to some accounting irregularities. So that basically jumped out to me because how can a company that is that popular, that huge, be dealing with accounting issues? You would think that they would have the best of the best. So next, the organizational overview. They're American food. It's an American food and beverage company. So most people know them as separate companies, Kraft as one side or the Heinz as the other side. So they merged in 2015 and they rose to be the third largest food and beverage company. So that just goes to show you, and that's against like Coca-Cola, Pepsi. So it's like that goes to show you just how huge they are, how huge their market is. So they have co-headquarters in both Chicago and Pittsburgh. They have more than 20 brands. So the combined brands together, the Kraft and the Heinz, they have more than 20 brands together. The summer of 2018, Kraft Heinz committed to moving all its packaging to recyclable and reusable by 2025. So I'll get into that part of I'll get into that part a little bit later. But in April 2019, following the downturn and challenges, they announced that Paulo Basilio, they reinstated him as the chief financial officer. So some more information analysis was that Kraft Heinz, prior to its downturn, was on a mission to revamp some of its longstanding flagship products, removing less healthy ingredients. So this was one of the biggest reasons for their downturn and breaking revenue was that kind of the U.S. and I think globally is pushing more towards healthier options. So a lot of the ingredients that were in their old products, excuse me, they were not healthy. So we're seeing kind of everybody be on a health kick these days. So everybody's pushing towards choosing healthier options. So that was one of the things that really stood out. I never paid attention to the ingredients that goes into those products. Most people don't pay attention to the condiment section of their diet, but a lot of the ingredients were really harmful. So they're moving towards revamping that and turning it into a more healthy line. Today's consumers want healthier products and flavors that are more diverse and ethically sourced. So it kind of goes back to the same thing. People are leaning more towards not just the brand. I think that as things progress, it's been you buy stuff because of the name. Like you don't really care where it came from or what's going on now. Everybody has so many options because of social media or the internet that you can choose to eat healthier because you have more options. It's not they're not the only people selling condiments. So they're having to diversify their products. So some more information analysis. Their major focuses of companies is more of the story than than it would be like the product. So the sugar use and intake is a hot topic across the country, like we just talked about as far as like health wise. They had a sugar laden products marketed to children. So people are looking at the ingredients where it used to be just it's just ketchup, it's just mayonnaise, Grey Poupon's another one, their French fries. So it's just those things, but now it's more so like what's in it, what are in the actual ingredients. So one thing that I did was created a SWOT analysis, just to go over some of their strengths, weaknesses, and some kind of like analysis tool. So their strengths would be that they are continuing to try to merge with other companies to pretty much diversify their brand. Another strength is the historic branding that they have and the popularity. Most people have heard of Heinz or Kraft, so they blended two really popular brands together. Some weaknesses: adapting to new changes in the market, and recycling or health products. So they said that they would be implementing that recycling by 2025. For most people, that's too far out. Like we want to know what you're doing now. So I consider that to be a weakness because it's like, yeah, you're doing this stuff now, but so it's not going to be fully functioning until 2025. That seems far off, even though it's only 5 years. That seems far off for consumers. Another weakness was low diversity in products. So mainly condiments. Like when you think of each of those brands, you think mostly cookout food, cookout stuff, or whatever. Some opportunities that they have would be appeal to um, appeal to healthier options and people who are trying to eat better and monitor what goes into our bodies. So one of their quality items is the Grey Poupon. So that's something that kind of is a little bit diverse, but I think that they have more room to be diverse when it comes to condiments. Like for instance, vegan mayonnaise or vegan products in general, and being able to use those to cater to a separate market. So, like I was saying, I got cut off on my video. So some of the threats are that similar brands that also do condiments, they would that would offer different options or healthier options or more quality options would eventually push them out completely, even though they are have been such a historic brand. So some recommendations for improvements that I have would be to add a new or significantly revamped product geared towards a healthier lifestyle. And so to me, that could be anything from vegan mayonnaise, vegan ketchup, any kind of vegan condiments that could be pushed towards more healthy lifestyle. And I think that would be something that's really marketable now in a time where most of us are at home and trying to use this time to cook more things and try different options. So I think maybe something like that, and also um, diversify and getting out of just being known for condiments and maybe trying to push more maybe healthier meats or some other products that would be more widespread. Increasing marketing and advertising. I tried to pay attention to this a lot last week about how did I see any commercials? Like I remember there used to be so many commercials for Kraft, Heinz, especially the Grey Poupon commercial. I always remember that commercial. So I think like even in the stores they have some in shelf displays, but I think maybe increasing their advertising all around so that they can just be out there more. I think that when a company is so when a brand is so historic that they kind of rely on people already know who we are, and sometimes they need to be able to revamp that and turn that into more of a a new, more innovative way of marketing and branding and getting their product out there. Lastly, focus on telling the story of Kraft Heinz and its journey of where it's been and where it's going. I think now people are really interested in, especially with entrepreneurship being so huge. I think with social media, like people want to know what the product is, how did it come about, where did it come from, and also how is it changing, what's evolving about it. So like how did you guys start? What's different now? Why should we choose this product over another when the market, I think almost everything is pretty saturated. Like everybody's trying to do different things. So there are so many options for everything. So I think maybe just being able to say, um, this is what we are trying to do. This is who we are as a company, and maybe recreating that brand or maybe reiterating what the company is all about. So that was my presentation. Thank you so much.